In Morocco, we called them Saher or Sahara. In classical Arabic, the root word Saher comes from the verb sahera, hinting at an evil with great magical power. From a young age, we are also taught in the context of Islam that magic can only be one of two things: diabolical, destructive black magic, or charlatanism and superstitions with no logical or scientific basis. The fact of the matter is that most Moroccans are religious and born as Muslims, regardless of if they practice or not, and any attempt to change one's religion is punishable under Moroccan law. If you're born Muslim, you live and die as a Muslim. Otherwise, trying to change this means you will end up behind bars. Well, except for the ones lucky enough to be granted a visa to flee the country. Since magic is cited in the holy book of Islam, the Quran, no one can contradict this. To do so would be blasphemy, and this, too, would send them into the crowded Moroccan prison system. Yet, there's also the popular belief that the Prophet Suleiman had ordered the exile of the jinn or genies to Morocco, and this is thought to explain the large number of tombs and shrines that allegedly belonged to them and their many servants who also practiced magic. This rich history makes Morocco an essential destination for anyone looking to specialize in the practice of magic or to get rid of its effects, as many areas in Morocco are known to be imbued with this culture. Being Moroccan, I have been aware of magic for my entire life, but simply wasn't interested in it. That is, until I was hired to spend a full month working on a press assignment for an international media outlet, investigating why Morocco holds the largest number of people actively practicing magic. Here, magic spreads like a virus and is often practiced as an everyday activity. This makes Morocco one of the most popular destinations for tourists who want to experience spiritual tourism, more than they want to see our country's captivating, picturesque scenery. This underground business does not have taxes imposed on it by the government, and it is a huge source of income for sorcery professionals. However, it's also highly taboo. Everybody knows about it, but nobody wants to talk about it, especially not to an international audience. Like any other Moroccan, I knew sorcery existed in every corner of Morocco, but had previously known very little about the world of magic myself. Many refuse to admit its existence at all, but it is an undeniable reality. Thank God for the internet. We are lucky such a resource exists to verify all the stories that are published. Before my month-long assignment was over, I realized I was not only in the nest of Moroccan sorcery, but also in the entourage of its queen, Rakia. I've kept in contact with her ever since, and she's the one who has informed me that sorcery had been around since only God knows when in Morocco. It's practiced as a profession, just like any other, and according to her, a sorceress's mission is to simply solve people's problems caused by one of the most complicated types of drama, Moroccan drama. When I was first introduced to the world of black magic, Rakia told me Moroccan sorcery, which is well known worldwide, at least among people who practice sorcery, is also a sacred heritage in Moroccan culture. It is a pride for our country. The queen of Moroccan sorcery continued, Moroccans must be proud of their sorcery, and they must have at least tried it once. I have no easy way to say it. Our sorcery has saved many families and helped all the different social classes in all fields. I'm forever grateful to Rakia for opening my eyes to the reality of Moroccan sorcery. She showed me magic in all of its forms, from white magic and red magic, all the way to the one with the highest voltage, black magic. She agreed to provide me access to all of her files, so long as I didn't film anything. This, as any reporter knows, was a huge pity, as I could have quickly become a millionaire with all the evidence and information I collected there. It's too bad, but naturally I had to respect her wishes. The most unfortunate part of the whole situation was that I quickly discovered a different side of many of my contacts, those who didn't hesitate to cast spells. I nearly lost my mind when I saw pictures of my friends casting spells on my other friends. But perhaps what shocked me the most was discovering that couples I knew had used Rakia's services to solidify their unions when love was already present. What exactly are they looking for? I finally concluded that human beings are never satisfied. The foreign media outlet that hired me to gather all this information and interview Rakia was interested in covering the impact of sorcery on daily life in Moroccan society. While working on this assignment, it mostly felt the same as any other. Aside from the multiple shocks I got one after another as I discovered just how far people were willing to go to get whatever they dreamt of having. Learning the vast number of Moroccan and Arab celebrities who go to Rakia for spells to help them get ahead in showbiz was like a journalistic orgasm for an entertainment reporter. Yet, this turned into a double journalistic orgasm when the media outlet that had hired me decided they weren't interested in the strong relationship between Moroccan and Arab celebrities and black magic. It was useless for their audience, they claimed, who didn't know any of these celebrities. One of the reasons I changed the names of the celebrities I talk about in this book is because I exposed the fact that it is very common in Moroccan showbiz to use black magic to achieve fame, maintain it, and get rid of any opponent who stands in their way. Worst of all, they do all of this without even having the slightest bit of talent. And it doesn't matter if the person is Fatiha, Latifa, or Kamal. Who knows these people and who cares about them in any other part of the world other than Morocco? But whatever their names, these celebrities have one thing in common. Many cast and use Rakia's spells. It's more prevalent in showbiz, Rakia admitted. Everyone is so fucking eager for fame, desperate to try anything. Witchcraft is an obligatory tool, especially for movie stars, which leaves you wondering, isn't their life already a film? Success is the most important element, especially for many people in showbiz. But now, where I come from, all they want is easy money and quick fame they can sell to the public as success that came from hard work. Please. Many of them are able to live out this fantasy thanks to Moroccan sorcery and the multiple spells that Rakia or other sorceresses cast for them. If you ask me what I think is the most scandalous crime in Morocco, I would immediately answer being well known for pushing the envelope. This is something that Rakia and I share, regardless of all our different opinions. We shared a strong bond built upon our common hatred for Moroccan hypocrisy, for which we were both booed incessantly and unjustly, called traitors for being the mirror reflecting a self-righteous society that they would rather not acknowledge as such. One example of blatant hypocrisy is in how Morocco treats its women. Being a woman in Morocco isn't easy, so imagine being a sorceress. See, a Moroccan girl is still measured by her virginity, and women are still fighting to decriminalize sexual relations outside of marriage. She lives in a society where sexual relations outside of marriage are haram, or prohibited, and illegal. In fact, it's punishable by imprisonment for 1 month up to 1 year, according to Article 490 of the Moroccan Penal Code. As such, women live a life torn between modernity and tradition. Many Moroccan guys call women kahba, or whore, and most of their buddies would agree as long as it wasn't their mother, sister, or wife who was attacked. It's the aspects of Moroccan society, such as toxic masculinity, sexist behavior, and the lack of legal protection, that remain a challenge for feminist activists, among the other reasons that make women use Moroccan sorcery to control the wild boys in their circle, Rakia said, smirking. Being a woman in Morocco is undoubtedly difficult, but being a journalist is worse. Many of my colleagues are behind bars for whatever crime Moroccan authorities found them guilty of, especially those investigating cases of corruption. As an entertainment reporter, I knew to avoid covering corruption and politics, and for a long time I was safe, until I covered the case of a famous Moroccan pop star who was arrested in Paris for rape, just 2 days before the biggest sold-out show of his career. I strictly reported the facts of what happened and revealed the details of what he did, but the fans and public were enraged. They directed all of their ire and hate toward me rather than the star, who was first accused in the U.S. in 2010, where he was charged with raping and beating a woman from New York before he fled the country as a fugitive. Even the New York Times titled their story, "Moroccan Pop Star Faces Third Rape Charge in France." The facts were all out there. He had already been accused many times in countries where human rights are actually respected. The girls from these countries have rights, and thus they have no problem reporting the situation to the police. In Morocco, most girls will not report sexual assault to the police because she would most likely be arrested for failing to answer their question, "What were you doing alone with the guy in the first place?" If you are unmarried and hanging out with a member of the opposite sex alone, you will lose your freedom. Many Moroccan girls have been arrested after failing to provide a certificate from a gynecologist that proves their virginity. In most other rape cases, the judge offers an ultimatum to the rapist where he can either marry the girl he raped or go to jail. Guess what? Every guy would prefer getting married over rotting in prison. When foreign reporters talked about the pop star and called him a rapist, no Moroccan said anything. You really have to visit Morocco to truly understand the huge impact that white supremacy has on Moroccans. But of course, when I talked about the case on a foreign channel, as I was working for Al Arabiya at the time, my people were more concerned about the fact that I was a Moroccan exposing another Moroccan than the actual rape and sexual assault case other media outlets were also talking about. I was accused of painting a bad picture of a homie and was automatically called a traitor. And there's a hadith, or a saying of the Prophet Muhammad, that says, "Help your brother, whether he is an oppressor or he is an oppressed one." They want you to support your homies, whether they're right or wrong, but they always seem to forget the end of the hadith. It essentially goes on to talk about the fact that it's okay to help him if he's oppressed, but how should we help if he's the oppressor? The prophet said, by preventing him from oppressing others. My people take whatever bits of truth suit them and their desires. Sorry, but I don't sugarcoat the truth. You must accept it as a bitter pill. Reporting on this one single story caused so much controversy with his fans that they tried everything to punish me, from hacking my social media and bullying me online to creating memes where I was depicted as a woman in a skirt and full makeup. Look how far they'll go when you're just doing your job and reporting stories. Imagine what I go through every day just for being a woman and sorceress, remarked Rakia. At that time, the disgraced pop star had been on trial in the French justice system for over a year and a half for the rape and assault of a French woman. He had just been released with an electronic ankle monitor when the superstar made the news again with a brand new sex scandal, and the first one hadn't even been fully resolved yet. A friend of mine, a French journalist, gave me the news, and I posted it on social media right away as I was getting ready to fly to Los Angeles. Many of my colleagues could not get the pop star on the phone, so they had no other choice but to post a screenshot of my Twitter post announcing the bad news. This shocked the nation, as no one could believe he had been arrested again for the same reason. During this time, the information had not yet been confirmed by French authorities, and it didn't help that it happened on a Sunday. Soon enough, my DMs were exploding with death threats and every kind of insult. Of course, after the French officer confirmed the arrest to a local news station, many were shocked that I had actually been doing my job as a professional reporter and getting the information from its source. This, of course, is why I'm often met with such jealousy. Many believed it was a conspiracy and that I was in on it. Others stated that I was the one who took the picture of him leaving the hotel in handcuffs. Many were worried about the young people, the Moroccans of tomorrow, and how they wholeheartedly threw their support behind someone accused of rape. One video depicting a female supporter protesting with others in front of the French consulate in Morocco went viral. She basically said she wished she could get a visa to go to France and pull out the victim's hair. Unsurprisingly, the victim in France also received all kinds of crazy threats. I can never forget the stupid girl who said out loud live on camera, "Why would he go to a country with laws like France and get arrested for sexual assault when he could stay in Morocco and do it as much as he wants?" Rakia laughed while showing me the video, which I couldn't stop laughing at every time I watched it. This occurrence is just one of the endless wild stories that I've survived throughout my career, but black magic is involved here as well. See, crazy fans of the pop star once threw some smelly black liquid around the entrance to the building where I lived at the time. When I showed Rakia the photos my cleaning lady had sent me via text, she said I was lucky I wasn't in Morocco when it happened because things would have turned bad when I walked over it. Since that day, my respect for my cleaning lady doubled, as did her pay. There are two kinds of cleaning ladies in Morocco: the ones who have your back, as mine did, and the ones who can be easily bribed to add spells to your home, food, or drink. With mine, I was on the safe side. She had not only gotten rid of it before I came back, but she also cleaned it with her own urine. I had no idea that she had known what to do, but she did because this practice is so prevalent, and no one is exposed to spells more than the loyal cleaning ladies. They get all the heat while cleaning up the shit. My stories on social media, enjoying champagne in West Hollywood in particular, drove the pop star's fans even wilder. But I didn't comment about him blocking me on social media. I learned to accept the judgment and hate from people and how to live with it. My tolerance for idiots is extremely low, which I believe has helped me build up an immunity to them. I wasn't sorry for what I had said, and I didn't take it back. For me, an untold truth is a lie. I had come so far in life by living truthfully and doing what was most important to me on my own terms. As I've said, being a woman in Morocco is a considerable challenge, and being a journalist is another level of difficulty. Now imagine being a female journalist. I'm sure you get the ugly picture. I can't tell you how many times I've witnessed my female colleagues being threatened, insulted, and generally dragged through the mud because they dared to shed light on the issues that exist in a country on a genuine quest for identity, but overwhelmed by ideals from another era. This is one of the main reasons I thank God for blessing me and allowing me to wake up each day in the U.S., a place where I don't have to sign away my freedom of speech and where I can express myself the way I want to on social media. In America, it doesn't matter what the hate messages that I receive daily say, or what bullying I get from what they call electronic flies in Morocco, groups of people who are paid by unknown organizations to report any social story meant to expose something they don't want to be revealed. I fully support every journalist who still believes in the value of their profession in Morocco. I just knew there was a better way. Still, I am grateful that my time in Morocco allowed me to cross paths with Rakia. Rakia is one of the most powerful, intimidating, and badass sorceresses that you would never dream of messing with because your life could be over in a second. While many people call her a defender of vice, I have major respect for her because she is able to ensure a good living for herself and her entourage. She is a woman like no other. She has defied society and sided with outcast women who seek protection in a schizophrenic society. Many people in Morocco, including her opponents, could only dream of having her power and lifestyle. Still, she has provoked others and plunged us into the midst of the unbearable, horrific truth. Her clients don't just consist of ordinary people and the rich, they are also politicians and other elites, and the number of these clients increases during elections and times of political crises. This woman is impressive yet disturbing at the same time. She has one tough personality. She is diplomatic, strong, energetic, and doesn't like to procrastinate. Her style is daring, and indeed, she needs to be strong to survive the conspiracies and spells thrown at her during the constant wars and struggles for power among the other sorceresses. They are jealous of Rakia's lifestyle as she travels by private jet, paid for by her powerful international clients. Rakia masterfully maintains her position and reputation among the rich and famous despite the chaos, regardless of the many websites and blogs teeming with hundreds of Moroccan sheikhs and sheikhas who vastly overestimate their own abilities. Rakia taught me that magic in Morocco is not limited to specific social groups, ages, or classes. In fact, the ignorant, the educated, those holding master's and doctorate degrees, and the owners of important and sensitive positions all may resort to it as well. When the devil gets a hold of someone, their desire for revenge grows. Their background is irrelevant. This situation is not new. The first Arab and Islamic writings documented the root of the phenomenon of witchcraft in Morocco a long time ago. In fact, they also detailed the reliance of the supreme political authorities on its use. This active culture of sorcery often leads to the creation of negative stereotypes about Moroccan society. For example, Moroccan women are known in the Gulf countries for their tendency to use magic and sorcery. A quick internet search will reveal countless personal experiences and articles warning of the supernatural abilities of Moroccan magicians. Some Saudi women even signed a petition to prevent Moroccan women from entering the kingdom because they believe Moroccan women threaten their marriage by virtue of their long-standing practice of witchcraft and sorcery. This may seem like a far-fetched idea, but in the end, the petition did, in fact, lead to border entry restrictions on Moroccan women, with those under 35 having the harshest conditions. Not only are they heavily restricted from entering Saudi Arabia, but other Middle Eastern countries as well. Rakia is always aware that she invites a lot of criticism and places herself at risk by breaking societal taboos. Yet, she's also aware that sorcery is a cancerous, malignant tumor spreading through Moroccan society. Society has a traditional and stereotypical idea of witches. However, Rakia is an exception. She defies this stereotype by providing stable jobs to people in her community, always rewarding the loyal ones by bringing them into her entourage. She has earned my respect through how she has usurped and secured her position as a queen of sorcery. Islam is not her religion. Sorcery is such a significant part of her life that it is her faith and religion. Any Moroccan will tell you, I believe in magic and its negative impact on people, as mentioned in the Holy Quran. For instance, no Moroccan pours hot water down the sink without feeling scared, as we grew up with the idea that a jinn will materialize and haunt your soul. Aisha Kandisha, the legend of the Moroccan witch. Moroccan heritage is full of many such legends and tales of jinn, magical characters, and orcs. To this day, these tales are passed down from one generation to the next, so much so that they are deeply rooted in the conscience of the Moroccan people, and millions search for physical evidence of them. Aisha Kandisha, or Lala Aisha, the Lady of the Swamps, was called by many names in Moroccan tales. By having such wide influence and notoriety, she has become a legend. She was a very beautiful woman with long black hair and flowing white robes, and beneath, her 2 feet resembled the hooves of a camel or goat. The story of Aisha Kendisha is one of the most famous in Moroccan history. Her story continues to be told to this day, and many Moroccans even believe it's a true story. It's said in the legend that Aisha appears at night in the forests and, using her indescribable beauty, seduces every man who sees her. She lures him to her den, kills him, feeds on his flesh, and drinks his blood. You can only conquer her with fire. Since many Moroccans grew up with this story, Aisha Kendisha became part of our nightmares. In other Moroccan legends, you have to bury a knife made of iron or steel in the ground to scare away the jinnia or female jinn and protect the victim. Many mothers would place a knife or salt near the entrance of their home to protect their children from jinnia, and this, too, became ingrained in our brains. In this way, magic has always been a part of our daily lives. Rakia also revealed that underground black markets exist where people spend fortunes on trafficked animal organs, shattered glass from car accidents, blood-stained clothing, or other personal items, to name just a few. In reality, this feels beyond fiction to me because it's so unreal, but Rakia always reminds me that it's part of our culture. She also showed me how Moroccan stars steal their rich husbands in the Middle East, where Moroccan women have the worst reputation ever, by casting spells on them to gain control as if they were rings around their fingers. Meanwhile, other spells are cast on the husband's family to ensure that they won't revolt. In our culture, a proverb states, "You cannot hide the sun with a sieve," meaning that Moroccans try to hide what can already be seen. Black magic and the image of Moroccan prostitutes go hand in hand. This is reality, yet we refuse to face it. Currently, thousands of Moroccan women live off prostitution in the Gulf countries. But let's not also forget about the Moroccan women who continue to perpetuate tourist prostitution networks in Marrakesh and Agadir. What makes Morocco famous for being the holy land of sorcery? I asked Rakia in the hope that she could help me understand why Morocco has such a bad reputation when it comes to sorcery, and why Moroccan women are called witches worldwide. Thankfully, she explained it to me very simply. The Moroccan and Arab man both have authoritarian personalities. They are dominant with an inflated sense of self by virtue of being a man. As the boss of the house, he uses the privileges provided to him by society that make Moroccan and Arab women always take second place to a man. Not to mention, religion allows them to have 4 wives simultaneously. So Moroccan women have used sorcery for centuries to control their husbands, as neither the law nor the religion have helped them. So they use magic instead of filing for divorce, which is still seen as a sin in the midst of a traditional society that does not show mercy to the victims of unsuccessful marriages and considers divorcees used merchandise. Yet the man can get married whenever he wants and has the full right to have 4 wives at the same time, she explained. Rakia continued, to keep up with this complicated situation, it's easy for Moroccan women to use spells such as burning the hoopoe's nails, a bird similar to a woodpecker, before presenting them in the form of a drink to the husband to protect him against the temptation of other women. Or the couscous spell that's made with a dog's head but is presented as a sheep head and is served to the husband to make him obey her and fulfill her every desire and request, though he knows that the law and society would never support her. And divorce is always the woman's fault, so it's interesting to note that with ignorance and poverty came the loss of esoteric knowledge over the ages and the identity crisis that many people experience in the face of the multiculturality of Morocco. In this book, I will reveal many other stories about Moroccan women and their methods for spells intended to train and keep their husbands. Warning, do not try them at home. See, magic is a counterpower, a strategy of resistance. In Morocco, this notion of counterpower is even more critical because women perform most magic rituals to protect themselves, reverse domination within a relationship, or regain a certain power. It's also a provocative symbol of feminist struggle. The archetype of the witch is present today stronger than ever. Though sometimes disturbing, it upsets the status quo and established order, while other times it's fantasized about because of its similarity to the over-sexualized femme fatale figure. The witch's existence causes us to question our relationship with the world, with others, with our body, and with nature. It is also commonly said that there's a school that teaches magic in Morocco, a place where the teachers are the sheikhs of Zawet Boya Omar, the headquarters of the jinn's great court. It is also rumored that the many Moroccan magicians who know of the school are located in Daniel's cave, named after the prophet Daniel. According to many witches, there is a great rock that blocks the door of the cave, but it opens every 9 months or 1 magical year for a whole day. This is the time when those wishing to learn magic are able to enter the cave. Daniel's cave contains great stones and magical talismans, and once a student enters the cave, they stay for 9 months to learn magic and harness the elves' power. In the end, either the elves serve him and he becomes a magician, or he exits the cave insane, or, worse, dead. Many Moroccan women use sorcery to make their own laws within family life, as they can't rely on the court of law that utterly fails to protect women. I've always said that, indeed, there is a sense of law in Morocco, but it is a corrupted one. Truthfully, I don't blame women for doing whatever it takes to avoid going through the Moroccan justice system, which is similar to a black hole that I myself have been through as a victim. I couldn't see either the light or the end of it. Imagine a regular illiterate person who, like most of the country, has no means to go through the whole corrupt process. That made me understand why Moroccan women use all kinds of black magic to survive in a society where the stark inequality between men and women is still a reality. Even so, I should note that the situation of women's rights in Morocco has gotten slightly better than it was in the past. It makes headlines in the news from time to time to keep the people entertained and to calm those who scream for women's rights and fuel the controversy about it. But these minor changes still don't prevent women over there from using the grandma card to control the people around them without considering the law as a viable option. To be honest, I empathize with these powerless women. The ones I can't stand are those who automatically call themselves stars, celebrities, and influencers, the subject of my book. These people are limitless when it comes to the use of sorcery. They don't use it to live happily ever after with the man of their dreams. Hell no. Instead, they use it to get revenge on their opponents and to train or keep their husbands as malleable playthings between their fingers thanks to all the spells they cast and make their partners eat. These are the ones who are the most dangerous, pretending they are the girls next door, but in truth, they spend more time at the sorceresses than next door. I have zero tolerance for these hoes' bullshit. I am so disgusted and ashamed of being Moroccan each time I see fake influencers posting pictures of their parents traveling first class from Morocco to Mecca, the holiest of all Muslim cities and the Prophet Muhammad's birthplace, to do the Hajj, the pilgrimage that every Muslim adult must complete at least once in their lifetime. The Hajj is the 5th of the fundamental Muslim practices known as the 5 pillars of Islam, and although it's meant to be sacred and spiritual, the parents are just happy to be traveling in first or business class and staying at the most luxurious hotels. In the videos posted by their so-called celebrity daughters, most of these parents say, Allah yardi alik ya benti, may God bless you, my daughter. Okay, we get it. Your daughter paid for it, but how? This is the question that makes these bitches want to kill you if you ask it publicly, because they don't want the public to know. I know from experience, and this opened the eyes of many people who don't travel, as it's very difficult to get a visa to leave Morocco. It's hard to explain to people just how much a ticket costs to fly first or business class, and how these girls who do one commercial or music video in their life call it a career. They invent fake fame, a fake career, and a fake life to justify the fact that they are loaded. Yet their lifestyle is rooted in a society where they'll hate you if you're doing better than any of them. These parents will always ignore your questions about how their daughters could afford this lifestyle and allow their parents to travel in a country where the monthly minimum wage is less than $300. Rakia commented after my rant, "They would tell you that they work in the Middle East." "I think we all know what kind of work it is," I responded. "Spreading their legs so high to get the highest level of their parents' pride," laughed Rakia. What's worse is that the Saudi government can't control the influx of nearly 2 billion Muslims, most of whom save money throughout their lives just to realize the fulfillment of a once-in-a-lifetime obligation, who want to reach Mecca. So they set quotas for the number of citizens permitted from each country. The country's established a lottery system, and guess who wins every year? The rich people and the parents of fake influencers and so-called celebrities. How? By slipping an envelope under the table to whoever is in charge. I'm not so religious myself, but isn't paying a bribe haram, an act prohibited by Islam? Isn't the whole trip then haram? Isn't pretending not to be aware that your daughter is having sex with old men in high-end Middle Eastern suites just to pay for your trip to Mecca haram? One statement from Rakia that I will never forget is, "You can never fight, compete, or win against the PP, pussy power." Rakia opened her doors to me and let me into her world, and I understand now that these bitches will do whatever it takes to shine in a society based on appearances, where you are respected based on the brand of car you drive, the watch you wear, and everything else you show off. You could very well be the devil inside, and they wouldn't care, because the more you show off, the more you're respected and appreciated. To this day, I'm still unable to understand what motivates many of Rakia's clients to do gratuitous harm to others by paying huge amounts of money for her to cast spells. Oh, and the pleasure they get from it. Since I've been in this business, I've learned that there's no compassion in showbiz. Out of necessity, I have become familiar with the low blows that, as time has gone by, have been perfected to the point of exceeding the limits of the twisted. Readers who have read my articles, followed my television appearances, or have heard about me already know my areas of expertise and can probably guess the subjects that will be covered in this book. As for the newcomers who discover me, they will be initiated and taken by the hand as I lead them toward discoveries that I hope will enlighten them without disappointing them. I want to share with you all of the things I have experienced with the Queen of Sorcery in Morocco, Rakia. This book is an expose that none of these fake influencers want me to publish. Of course, they don't want the public to question their lifestyle. In Morocco, people don't have social security numbers. They have IDs. Most women depend on their Arab and Moroccan husbands culturally and religiously, and these men won't allow their wives to work even if they are extremely poor. They used to have the word unemployed listed as their profession on their IDs, but since everything is now biometric, thank God, the inclusion of one's profession has since been omitted. The girls who work for governmental administrations have the general income tax taken out automatically, but the majority of the female population is still paid under the table for gigs such as working as a cleaning lady or a cook. Many fake influencers in showbiz list entertainment as their profession, but their official status in society is still unemployed. I mean, many of them are employed at night, if you catch my meaning. They get all their cash under the table and under the bed, too. In short, a female teacher in Morocco is forced to have taxes deducted from her salary, but many of these New Age hookers invent a fake LLC that operates within a vague field such as PR or fashion, anything that's untraceable and will make it easy to launder the cash and make it look legit. With that being said, these modern hookers don't stop there. They also exploit the 5-year tax grace period that the government offers as a way to encourage people to create their own companies and pay taxes. After 5 years, the hookers declare bankruptcy and simply create a new one to avoid attracting attention from the Moroccan IRS. After they've had numerous bankruptcies, they make new ones in the names of relatives. Oftentimes, they'll use the name of their illiterate mothers, who don't even know what the document they're signing is about, but they'll enjoy the many advantages they weren't lucky enough to get when they were their daughters' ages. The perfect example of the kind of mother I hate, and I've had conversations with some of them, are those who were convinced by their daughter's lies. One of them explained that her daughter is a hard worker and important to society thanks to her new LLC that the new generation of daughters is smart enough to create. They use them to trick society with their fortunes, but many Moroccans suspect that it's corrupted money and comes from untraceable sources. Still, most of the mothers know the real nature of their daughter's work and, most of the time, the real source of the money. They know it comes from the Middle East, where everything is leveraged by PP, pussy power. However, they prefer to turn a blind eye, while some of them even brag about the relations between their daughters and influential people like notables, financiers, and businessmen. This, of course, makes them more important than other underground sex workers in Morocco, the ones called Kaibadil Trottar, street hookers. Even I had the wrong idea about these girls until I became a member of the AIDS organization in Morocco and began meeting and talking to these sex workers. The more familiar I became with their stories, those full of poverty, suffering, and terrible circumstances, the more sympathetic I became toward them. The experience of getting to know them definitely changed my mind about them, and now I even defend them whenever I'm asked about the fake influencers' controversies. One of my statements about these women went viral in Morocco. I have enormous respect for what Moroccans call street hookers, who have no alternative to selling their bodies to meet the expenses and costs of daily life and to feed their families, much more than for those who, under the cover of showbiz, engage in prostitution to get the trendiest cell phones, first-class tickets, dream vacations, and everything that goes with it out of our drama land. The mothers or parents I mentioned earlier tolerate the prostitution of their own daughters. In fact, they are greatly appreciated by their families because these infamous daughters are well-dressed and wear the latest brands. They drive sports cars and shine in a society that respects you for how much you have, what you own, and what you show off. A society characterized by hypocrisy and contradiction that describes prostitution as haram, but its money as halal. Though Moroccan legislation criminalizes illegal sexual relations and punishes female prostitutes and their clients with imprisonment, prostitution still exists, big time, and has evolved into complete chaos due to the government's lack of regulation of the profession of sex workers. At the same time, it acknowledges its existence and benefits from its existence, which is one of the most important financial resources that Morocco has always depended on for economic recovery: sex tourism. The only Moroccan movie on Netflix globally, the only film on the platform that represents Moroccans, is about prostitution. The film is titled Zin Li Fik, or Much Loved, and it tells the story of 4 prostitutes over a period of 2 continuous hours. You see a portion of their nightlife addressed, including their search for clients, as their pimp in Marrakesh accompanies them. Predictably, the movie was banned in Morocco and was subject to a campaign of harsh criticism that reached the point of abject hatred. People demanded the withdrawal of citizenship from, and even the execution of, the director, actresses, and actors. However, the decision to ban Much Loved gave it lots of exposure, not just locally but worldwide. It showed that outdated traditions still influence societies such as Morocco, but it also raised the issue of prostitution and sex tourism. The actress who played the main character was attacked in the street, and even the police joined in making fun of her rather than protecting her. Not only was she not supported by her colleagues, but many actresses also criticized her. So she fled the country for a new life. Where I come from, celebrities don't slap each other on stage as they do in Hollywood. Instead, they throw black magic spells on each other backstage. Sneaky Showbiz invites you in as it draws back the curtain on the pitiless showbiz universe in the developing world, an industry rife with villains who master the arts of manipulation, backstabbing, jealousy, hate, rivalry, and cruelty. It's a parallel Morocco, full of vivid vignettes from the wonderful and unusual world of Rakia, one that will exceed your wildest imagination, and it is well worth a visit. This book reveals what lies beneath a society focused on appearances, and it will keep your eyes wide open as you gain awareness of what happens in a world where winning at any cost is every participant's main goal.